Good evening and welcome to our X39 stem cell activation patch review with testimonials. My name is Dr. John Harmon, and tonight I'll be your host along with my good buddy Savy Vargas as we explore this wonderful new wearable health technology called the X39. I'd like to say before we get started, although I am a doctor, I am not making any diagnoses tonight. And the product we'll be talking about is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. If you do have a disorder or some kind of a disease, you should always seek the care of your doctor before starting any new protocols or regimens. All right, well, I mentioned testimonials. For those of you who may be on this call for the very first time, I want to just explain to you what the heck we're talking about, testimonials, and who are these people. These are just people, ordinary people from all over the country, sometimes different parts of the world, who have had tremendous success with their health, with the X39, and want to reach out and share it with others. And so we have two wonderful testimonials tonight. One of them is actually a follow-up. It's someone we've had on before, but she's had such great leaps since the last time that she wanted to come in and spread the joy with everybody. So I'm going to turn some time over to Savy. After he's finished with the testimonials, he'll shift it back to me, and I'll talk about how you can get your hands on some of these. But Savy, go ahead. I'm going to shoot it over to you.
Okay, Doc, they're coming in still
hot
and heavy here. Okay, so I don't see Amy Phillips just yet. Amy, if you're there, let me know. If not, I'm going to go straight to Sandi Bowman. So
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Is that Amy?
Yeah.
I'm here. Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Thank you, Amy. Sorry about that. I had texted you. Sorry about that. So, all right, we'll start with you. Okay, Amy, because you're a new testimonial and kind of new even to the group. And then we'll finish with Sandi with the follow-up. Okay. So,
all right, sounds great.
Amy, if I recall right, you're in real estate, is that right?
Yes.
And you're somewhat of an athlete, and you had an injury. Was it the rotator cuff?
Yeah. Yep, I did. I had a rotator cuff injury. And somewhat of an athlete is hilarious because that's true. That's how I keep getting injured. I keep thinking I'm an athlete.
You are an athlete. So I met
Not
you
as much as I was back in the day.
Right. So how did you hurt the rotator cuff?
Okay, so I joined a gym and I was like, I'm going to get in shape 6 days a week, and it was kind of like a CrossFit type of gym, and so I had always kind of been having it. Well, I'd never had any issues with my rotator cuff ever before, ever. I had been having issues with my Achilles tendons, but not with my arms, and it hadn't even crossed my mind that was an injury that could be had. So right. After going to the gym for like 5 months, one day I noticed that my arm was tender when I tried to lift. And so I backed off of that exercise, but it got increasingly worse. So I was just kind of waiting to go to a medical professional and see if I should possibly have surgery or what was going on underneath my skin there. Mm-hmm. And then I met Mary, who told me about these patches, and I bought them because I thought, I have all sorts of things that I could try to fix on my body. You know, I'm 48, so things are starting to fall apart at the seams. And I actually started with, when I got the X39 patches, I actually started on my on the left side of my chest, because I have chronic chest wall inflammation. It flares up every winter time, and it was really bothering me. It was really inflamed. So I started with that. And for 4 days, I put it on my left chest of my chest. And after day one, totally, it felt like it was better. But I wanted to keep going for 4 days to make sure that inflammation was gone. And it was like night and day. It was amazing. So then I thought, I might as well just try my rotator cuff now, because we healed the first thing. Let's move on to the second thing.
Right.
And I got a free set of patches. And can you help me with the name? It begins with a C.
Carnosine?
Carnosine?
Carnosine patch?
Yes. They gave me a 10-pack when I ordered. So I read up on what the carnosine patch does, and I thought I'll try that too. So I stacked them. I put the carnosine patch with the X39 right on the tender, most injured spot of my shoulder, which was getting increasingly worse. Like I couldn't even like put my bra on or lift my arm anymore. It was getting really bad. And the first day I noticed it went from being a kind of a radiating pain to being a dull pain, but there was still pain, but it was just like this dull pain, and I can't even explain it any other way.
Yeah.
And then I used all 10 of my free patches on it. And and it's gotten more into more of a dull, and it's gone from like an 8 to like a 2 now. But I've only, I think that this is something that possibly might have needed surgery. So I'm feeling super excited. I re-injured it last weekend when we were playing basketball, because my dominant arm is the one that I shoot with as well. And that's the one that was injured. Yeah. And so stupid me, but I put the patch back on and it feels like it's already healed back up. So I'm down to like a level 2 in pain, where I was like at an 8, and I can do all sorts of things.
Okay. So when you had the injury, was it something that crept up, or was it an acute injury that happened right? You knew it instantly when it happened.
It was like, I woke up one morning and I was in a lot of pain. So I think I probably injured it the day before.
Okay. And share again, what is it that goes on with the chest every winter?
I have chest wall inflammation. I've actually been hospitalized for it before. And they've said, oh, you have allergies or whatever. They've never known what it was. They just said chest wall inflammation. It makes me short of breath. Whenever I have a mammogram on the left breast, they always say, oh, you have some inflammation. So it's been like this chronic thing. They always call me in for a second and third mammogram, and it's always nothing, And so I put it on, and every year at this time it happens, and it was almost like kind of pulsating. It gets pretty painful. So I put it on because I was like, I know that this helps with inflammation, and it instantly helped. It was very night and day, instantly helped. In one day, the pulsating and the tenderness was gone.
And that's X39, not the carnosine.
That was just X39.
Okay. So, carnosine works with skeletal muscle, right? And the brain and the heart. So using carnosine with X39 is probably a very good idea with the rotator cuff. Now, if, depending on the degree of the injury with rotator cuff, that can take a long, long time to heal. So when you first had the injury, how was your range of motion? Could you reach above your head?
It was when I would take my arm and go like this, tons and tons of pain. So it was going up in this motion. I could go forward and I could sort of go back, but just this motion right here, just so painful.
Okay. And so this is about a month. Is that right?
It's only been about a week and a half.
A week and a half.
Wow.
So you went from right at a 10 down to a 2 in a week and a half. Is that right?
Yeah.
So the X39 you were putting right on the rotator cuff as well, not behind the neck, not below the navel, right there?
Just right next to it. And honestly, every day I moved the patch to where I felt the most pain.
Yeah.
On my rotator cuff.
Yeah, chasing the pain, they call it. So, okay. So that means that, very encouragingly, week and a half. So if we gave it another week and a half, let's just go a month, we could get rid of that. Now, are you doing anything else, a little massage or anything like that?
No, I've limited my activities. So I have changed I'm not lifting at all now. I'm doing spin class or cycle class 4 days a week, and just to lay off of the rotator cuff a little bit to let my arm heal.
Now, anything else? How about sleep? How about energy, mood, anything like that?
Yeah, all of that. I feel
that?
like I'm getting better sleep, and I have more energy. And my husband started taking these patches, and he's a little bit more, I'm kind of a spaz and he's not as much. And he noticed on day 1, he said, wow, oh my gosh, I have so much energy. Okay. He is not usually one to try out things, he just goes to the doctor and gets medicine. And I'm a lot more open to that, but he was totally sold. So, and then my husband, I think I was telling you about this. My husband had a really bad ankle break. and which required surgery. And the doctor had to go in and find his tendon. It was probably his Achilles had curled up in his leg, and he had to do exploratory surgery to find it. Wow. So now he has a rod in his leg, and it's about 10 inches long, and he has several bolts. Anyway, it gives him, it's annoying to him. It kind of his limited range of motion. And he put the X39 patch on it, and he's only done it for 2 days, but he, after day one, was like, wow, he noticed a difference. And we've just been experimenting with that. He's only done it a couple times, but he's noticed a difference.
What's his age, Amy?
He's also 48.
Okay, so you know the science that after 35, you've lost about half your stem cell activity, right?
Unfortunately, yes, I did learn that.
Right. So just in the nick of time, right? Now,
yeah.
I don't know how many of these Zoom calls you have, joined us with, but we have people growing hair back to the point where they need to buy a comb again. We have people whose hair is turning brown again, as is Dr. Harmon. My hair has also gotten darker. So next time you come to the Zoom, bring some people with you. You and I, I'm a real estate agent too. So you and I need to team up on the real estate industry, right?
Oh, yeah.
And share this with all those people out there. Because a lot of times the real estate agents out there in the road showing homes, they're eating fast food all the time, right? So
yeah,
that's my thing now, is you and I need to team up on the real estate industry. But listen, thank you so much for helping us out tonight. I'm so happy about your rotator cuff, right?
Thank you.
Bad injury, you got to have your arm, right? So we appreciate it.
I ordered more carnosine patches. I don't have them yet, but I ordered more because I'm going to keep doing that therapy.
Yeah, 100%. And then maybe, we have this book, Self-Healing with Light book, which is a patching protocol book. You might, you might want to look into getting that, because really some of these other patches that you might not think would apply do apply for things like this, like the energy enhancer patch, right? So you might look into getting that. If you're interested, text me and I'll get you the information on that. So, all right. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate you. So Sandi Bowman, follow-up. I think, Sandi, is it about 5 months for the follow-up? Do we need?
Yeah, actually, it's been about 6 months.
6 months. So
yeah,
you and I.
Yeah,
well, you and I had a really fun conversation the other day, right? We were on the phone for about 45 minutes. And I guess I had missed your initial testimonial, but your testimonial is a very amazing to me. You and your buddy Sandy Padnos, right? So share with us a tiny bit of the background that for those that might have missed it, and then the follow up, please, because it's amazing to me.
Okay. Thank you for having me on again, Savy. And yeah, we have fun conversations. You're a kick. So,
we had a good one.
Back in 2018, I had a hip replacement. And when I woke up from surgery, I had a drop foot. I couldn't feel my foot. And so I was stuck with I couldn't walk. And I was learning how to walk again. And then right after that, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's. So dealing with that was quite overwhelming. I live alone, single, and trying to just navigate through everything was really, really rough. 2019, I was just, when you have Parkinson's, you just want to, well, for me, I just wanted to go on a corner and curl up and go to sleep. You have no energy. It just saps you.
Yeah.
So I actually was dying. I realized my eyes were really dark around my eyes, and there was no life in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I did everything I knew what to do with medication, exercise, supplements. And then Sandi came over and gave me the patches and said, give this a try and see what happens. So after about 2 weeks, I started noticing some changes. I noticed my energy was picking up, and then I was sleeping better. And then I was so stiff. When you have Parkinson's, you usually get so stiff. And my stiffness went away. And then my balance got better. And then my mental clarity, it got clear again. It was like I came out of a fog and I realized how depressed I was. And I pulled out of that because I had more energy and I could do things. So that was just absolutely remarkable. And that's what I was reporting before. And then lately, I'm taking note of, what it changes. It's like, I've been on him now for like since July. Yeah. And every day I feel like I'm getting a little stronger, a little bit better, a little clearer. And then one of the things that happened with me at the very beginning is I lost my sense of smell. That was back in 2002. I'm realizing I'm gaining that back. I'm beginning to notice odors and fragrances. And I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that. And then for the last 3 years, if I take a long walk, I need help. I started with a walker when I got out of the hospital, around the house, to a cane, to walking poles. And as of about a week or so ago, I don't need my poles for my long walks now.
Yeah.
I can actually walk without my poles. I can't tell you how, just to be able to do that. Yeah. And and I live up in Northern California, so we've got the ocean here. I wanted to go on the sand so badly, and I was afraid to, because I was afraid I'd fall, and then it gets very hard to get up. Well, I went on the sand with a girlfriend, no poles. I'm good. It was like my balance is fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's still a work in progress, but it's definitely improved. Yeah. So I feel like I really do feel like I've gotten my life back, and we've heard that before, and I've said it before, but that is the truth. It's like, anyway, it's been an amazing ride.
So Sandi, that type of testimonial, yours right there, that's exactly why I do this, right? I live and breathe this stuff. And so anybody with these types of challenges, that typically you're getting worse, not better. And you're getting better. How encouraging is that, right? For everybody.
Well, yeah, I'm wondering, is it possible that I could be in remission? I mean, it's like, it's like out of my, I can't even believe I'm saying that, but that's how I'm feeling.
I think that's how we have to think too. We have to think that. Yeah, you're in remission, you're healing. That's the way you have to think, right? So, I mean, look, you went from a walker, cane, poles to nothing. And now you're walking in sand. Yeah. Right?
Oh, so, and my foot. And my drop foot, I could not move my toes until the patch, and I barely move them, spread them. Now I can spread my toes just fine. Yeah. So it's like this connecting. My nerves are starting to connect.
Well, what's going to happen now, Sandi, is I'm going to fly up to Northern California and I'm going to race you down the street. That's the next thing. Okay, I'm coming to race you, and if you beat me, don't brag about it on the Zooms. Okay. All right. So. Look, I got to give some time to Dr. Harmon, but yours is another Hall of Famer for me. Okay, that goes in the Hall of Fame. So you are actually for sure getting better. I mean, you're proving it. All right. So X39, a little Band-Aid.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I can actually manage meetings now. I can focus. It's like, I'm coming back. I'm getting my mojo back,
Coming back. And so you'll be a spokesman for that industry, the P word. I don't like to use their word, but you'll be the poster child for that. And that's a whole nother marketing field that we can get after using you as our testimonial, right? So thank you for coming back on again.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Really loved it. And you'll have to do it again in another 5 or 6 months, okay?
I'm ready. I can't wait.
Right? You'll be on the dance floor or something, right? So,
wow.
Okay, so we're going to ask Dr. Harmon to share with us, how does this patch work and how do we get it?
Thank you so much. And Sandi, that was very, very touching. And like Savy, when someone gets that kind of a benefit, I've always said to my patients, it's worth 2 weeks of endorphins, just hearing that. So thank you for sharing that. It truly is a Hall of Fame testimonial. I want to set the stage for a moment on what I'm about to tell you on how these patches work. I'm sure you've all either looked through some night vision goggles or you've seen some video take from conflict where you're looking at images that are seen at night. And you ask yourself, well, why is that? What are they looking at? They're looking at infrared. They're looking at biophotons that are emitted by the bodies of people who are alive. That's how we tell if somebody's alive. We touch the skin, you can, you can feel the heat. Well, David Schmidt, who is the inventor of the patch, started a company called LifeWave 15 years ago. And we can look at him as the world's greatest conservationist because he figured out a way to repurpose or redirect or recycle photons that our body is emitting already out into the room around us, where while we're sitting here listening to this, he figured out a way to select certain portions of that and reflect it back in the body to tell the body to do something. It's the most brilliant biohack you'll ever hear of, at least that I have ever heard of. So this is what in his interview, Savy and I interviewed him on December 3rd, and he described how you combine different substances, amino acid, salts, oxygen, whatever it is. It's a proprietary blend. You'll never find out what's in it, but it is patented. And they're organic substances. They're not derived from humans or aborted fetal cells, anything like that. It's all amino acid, salts, and some other things. But they form their own type of crystal structure, which when placed on the body, reflect back certain photons. Well, the photons that are reflected back into the body with the X39 tell the body or restart a little factory for that starts up a substance in our body called the GHK copper peptide. GHK copper peptide. Now, don't think because it has copper in it that it's toxic. Your body uses that substance to repair 4,200 of our genes. So this is that GHK copper peptide, and the man who discovered it, the doctor who discovered it, I have to check my phone because somebody keeps texting me, and I hope you guys can hear me. Okay, sorry about the interruption. Okay, Peter, I got your message. All right, go to the man's website who discovered the GHK copper peptide, and you'll get an inkling about what it does just from the name. reverseagingwithghk.com. On that website, you're going to find all kinds of things that just elevating that peptide in our body does. But the key thing that we're talking about tonight is that one of the most important things it does is that it turns back on a little stem cell factory in our body. So what are stem cells? There's this burgeoning industry worldwide about stem cells. And a lot of them are extracted from the umbilical cord of a recent birth or from your bone marrow or however they get them, and they're very expensive. Sometimes they don't work, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But these stem cells are stem cells your own body makes. So when you make your own stem cells, it's you. It's not rejected. It's not somebody else's stem cells. It's our own. So this is a way of increasing our own stem cells. These are the fix-it crew. They go around the body and they can become a bone cell or a skin cell or a lung cell because they are called pluripotent stem cells. Pluri meaning they can become a lot of different things. So it increases our stem cells in our body, and they go around and fix things. The GHK copper peptide accelerates wound healing. The GHK copper peptide is very good for brain. It improves memory. Within a week, you start to see changes in memory. Excuse me, there was a brain study done where they did EEGs. I do those in my office. This is kind of my wheelhouse, where we look at how the brain is regulating itself. We look at the electricity in the brain. And coherence looks at how is that brain talking side to side, front to back? Is it more even throughout, or is it, kind of segmented, or is it more powerful on one side or the other? This is where we get symptoms. Well, they found after 6 weeks of wearing the patch that everybody's brain had better coherence. And another study, and people have asked me about this, this is actually a true study that was done on organ function. And they did all kinds of energetic measurements on different structures, organs, tissues in the body. And they found, then they had people wear the patch for 6 weeks, and the cardiovascular system, after 6 weeks of wearing the patch, acted as if it were 2 months younger. So it reversed the age of the cardiovascular system by 2 months. So I always say, you wear the patch for a day, you gain a day and a third in cardiovascular health, which has implications for every single tissue in your body. You can get better oxygen, oxygenation, perfusion, and you decrease your risk of the #1 killer in America. That's a huge thing. Very meaningful to me, because at about 4.5 months of wearing this patch, I had huge shifts in my own heart health. And I'm 66. I was thinking today, oh my gosh, in July, I'm going to be 67. But you know what? I feel a lot younger than that. In the last 10 months, I was looking at a video that I made when I first started with LifeWave. I was putting a video out because I wanted to talk to the team. And I looked at it the other day and I said, who is that? There was you'll see this changes in yourself. You don't see them because they're gradual. And then you look back and you say, wow, things really have started to change. So I want to tell you how you can get some of these. And I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I have things lined up in my brain. I hope I bring them out in the order that I put them in there. But I want to tell you how you can get your hands on some of these patches. There's several different ways. I want to show you what it looks like. It doesn't look like much, but it's like a little Band-Aid, but there's kind of a flat crystal structure made out of those substances I was talking about. A 1-month supply looks like this. It's called a sleeve. One sleeve retail is $149.95. You can do that one-time purchase, get with the person who brought you to this Zoom, and you can purchase from that person's website. Or we think is a better option, you can become a preferred customer. And the reason I say it's a better option is because you get free product. After so many months, you get a free 1-month supply. There's all kinds of benefits. Or if what I'm saying tonight appeals to you and resonates with you, and if you share some of these same feelings that we have, like Savy said, it made his day. I don't know his specific words about how it made him feel, that we feel like we're helping people. I put it like this: we seek to help everyone live out their life's fullest expression. There are 2,600 gene expressions of each gene. Everybody is a little bit different. Our circumstances are different. Sandi, months ago, she was just trying to get rid of her walker, and now she's walking without anything. So we seek to do that with our family, with our neighbors, with our community, with our city, our state, and truly worldwide, because we're in over 90 countries, just opened up Malaysia. So it's really exciting. So if that appeals to you, you can enroll in the company, and you can do that for as little as $25, a $25 fee. You can enroll with the company and you can purchase the product at wholesale. It doesn't include any product. So if you want to actually get some product, you get it at wholesale. And there are various kits that we can get, starting with one sleeve. It's called a bronze kit. all the way up to 19 sleeves. That's a diamond. I like to talk about the silver because it includes 3 of these, and that's enough for you and maybe a partner to start using it, but also to share some. But I want to tell you, if you start doing this, one of your biggest problems is going to be running out of patches because everybody wants to try them. That's what happened to me. I started telling friends and they all wanted to try them, and I was out of patches really quickly. So I like the gold pack. That's $4.99. Silver pack is $2.99. Gold pack is $4.99. That gives you 5 sleeves. So that gives you plenty to start to share with some of your friends and family. However you do this, get these patches on your body. Once you know about the benefits and the anti-aging effects, you're going to want to use them. It actually saves me money. I used to have to take digestive enzymes and betaine hydrochloride just to digest my food. And even with that, I would wake up in the morning, and I would belch and I could taste the food. It wasn't even digested yet. That's not good. That means it rots in your body rather than being digested. I do that without those. So that saves me just $100 right there, just in nutritional, digestive enzymes. And that's true for a lot of different things. If your body's fixing it, then you don't have to support it so much. So consider that. We have one of these Zooms at some point almost every day of the week where you can invite your friends and they can find out how to get them, what they do, and maybe watch another testimonial. This weekend, we also have the doctor's call. That's at 11 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Mountain, 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock for Dr. Henry. I saw him get online. He's back east. He's a late man. It's late for him at 9 o'clock starting for this Zoom. So join us because we get a little bit into the deep. We dig deeper on the GHK and some of the patches. I think Savy's going to be talking about the Silent Night patch, and we have some other good stuff for you to hear. So we'll see you next time tomorrow night. If you're on, we'll see you then, or we'll see you on the doctor's call this weekend. Thanks a lot for coming and tuning in tonight. We'll see you next time.
Sandi Bowman, Amy
Andy.
Phillips.
Woo, Amy.
Awesome call.
Thank you.
Super awesome.
Appreciate
Awesome
you.
call.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
All
you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
both.
you,
you.
everyone.
See you
Thanks so much.
Saturday.
Great.
Wait a minute. Did he call us ladies?
Wow.
What's up
You
with
need to
that,
get a
Bob?
haircut.
Come on, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
My eyes have gotten better. What can I tell you?
I'm looking so young. I look like a girl. Is that what you're saying? Wait a second. That
Tendencies.
didn't make any sense.
Tendency.
Thanks, Bob. Sandy, by the way, you look marvelous.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank
Thank
you all,
you.
guys.
Thanks.
Bye, gentlemen.
I'm
Bye,
feeling
gentlemen.
good.